Yay. Okay, we're recording. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for being on the call tonight. We are so lucky to get to talk to Blair Sells tonight. So Blair Sells is a double Zaya executive, which means she's in the top less than 1% in the whole company. But more than that, she is such a light. And if you have followed Blair, you already know that. Her smile is always on like megawatt. Like she's just got the biggest brightest smile, and I love following her. She's so joyful, very honest and transparent, and honestly, you want to celebrate all of her wins with her. She's just that kind of has that kind of energy. So I'm so excited to hear from her. She's going to be talking about leadership. And Blair, will you tell us a little bit about your team size and how you got started in that before you go into your topic? Okay.
Hi, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so fun. I'm like totally fangirling right now.
Oh,
See
stop.
all your faces. I love it. So I have been with Zaya since January of 2018, so almost 2 years now. And I'm actually going to talk about this a little bit tonight about my team and how this all kind of came about and why I ran from the topic of leadership for a really long time. But currently we have a team of over 3,300 women. A lot of those came in the last week, right, with that discounted enrollment. That was really amazing. So, but I truly feel like my first year at Zaya was learning experience for me, and that this past year has really been a year of growth. And so that's why I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this tonight. Do you want me to just go ahead and get started, Miss Katie?
Yes, take it away.
Okay, cool. All right, so I really hope, first of all, that this topic of leadership didn't deter some of you from wanting to hop on the call, because I think sometimes we hear that word and we get a little nervous, we get a little scared. We might think that leadership is tied to certain things. And so really, before we even get started, I want you to know that this talk is for you. If you are a brand new rep who just signed up and you have 0 teammates, this talk is for you. If you have been with Zaya for a little bit and maybe came into this as an accidental leader, this is for you. If you have no idea what in the world you're doing and don't think you're a leader, this is for you. So I just want you to know that we're all in this together, and there are a lot of different things that make up the topic of leadership, and we all have something to give. So I feel like you are a leader in so many other aspects of your life, even if you're not sure about that role yet at Zaya. But think about, you're a leader in your community, in your home, with your family, with your spouse, with your partner, at your job. And so I feel like you're a leader because you have something to give, because you are a compassionate person, because people trust you. So we all have a place in this world as a leader. We all have a voice. We can all make an impact in our own way. And I just wanted to kind of set that straight before we get started tonight, because I think that's really what this last year has been for me. And I wanted to share that with you guys too. So it's actually really funny. It's serendipitous. I think that I'm actually talking about leadership tonight because I never, ever, ever thought I would be a person invited to speak on anything to anybody ever. And so I just have to remind you guys that direct sales is really personal development disguised as a paycheck, right? I think we can all agree that no matter how long you've been in this business, there are things that you learned along the way that you never probably would have learned otherwise. And so when Katie had asked me tonight to speak, and I was kind of going through some topics in my head that I was passionate about, and I just kept coming up with the word leadership, and it took a little bit to flush it out in terms of wrapping it up for a quick little chat tonight. But I wanted to at least share with you why I'm super passionate about it, why it was a stumbling block for me for a while, and then I kind of broke it down into 5 characteristics of what I think makes a leader a leader. So first of all, as I kind of mentioned a little bit ago, I've been on this personal journey of leadership for this past year. And I believe the reason for that was because for years, you guys, I was of the belief that leaders only came in the form of big downlines, certain ranks, certain titles, certain levels in a company, maybe having an outgoing personality. I mean, I have like severe social anxiety. You can't see the sweat, but like this is real for me. This is hard. And so I was thinking, okay, well, I could never be a leader because I'm an introverted person. I get super nervous. I don't think I'd be able to take charge of a room. So all of these things I kept telling myself for a lot of years. And I worked for another direct sales company for 4 years prior to joining Zaya. And I loved it. I worked my tail off. I loved our mission. I had an enormous customer base there, but I was stuck in terms of growth with the team. And although I did try to lead that team of mine, I just felt this imposter syndrome every single time I clicked that live button on my Facebook to do a team training, or gosh, to even schedule a team call. I just didn't feel like I had the highest sales. Why would anybody want to hear from me? Why would anybody want to learn? What did I have to offer? And this played in my head for years. And so when I started with Zaya, I was really still in that mindset. And I was nervous when I had a new rep sign up with me because, oh my gosh, how am I going to help them? Like, what if I didn't have what they needed to succeed? And my biggest fear in all of this was, what if they fail because of me? And I think that was a really powerful one. That was a really major roadblock that I had in 2018 while I'm kind of, still new to this company and trying to figure it all out. And over this past 12 months, I feel like I'm more at peace with this because now I know whether or not I feel deserving of it, I am a leader just like you guys are. And I've learned that you can't be a good leader if you don't care deeply about other people. And so then the inverse of that must be true, where you can be a great leader as long as you freaking care about people. So I think that breaking this into the next 5 characteristics that I'm going to talk about, if you already have those characteristics, or if you're trying to grow in those 5 things, you're already a leader. And I think that's amazing. And actually, it's cute. I asked my boys at dinner tonight what they thought a leader was. And they said, it's so cute because it's like exactly what I'm going to talk about. And they're 7 and 10, by the way. And they said a good leader is someone who sets a good example, someone who's kind to others, someone who works really hard, and someone who helps. And I thought that was really cool because they basically could have just hopped on here and done this for me tonight. But all right, you guys, so I'm just going to break this down quickly. I know we have our company call happening soon, but the 5 things that I think make a leader, and these are things that I've kind of learned over the last year about myself, is number 1, a leader is accountable. So did you show up when you said you're going to? Did you do the things that you said you're going to do? If not, why not? And I always feel like in this business, we're an army of volunteers, right? Like we can't force people to show up to work every day. We can't make them put in the time. But if we show our team our commitment to our own accountability, then I feel like we can show them that we mean business, that this is a business. And also if we can give clear direction, then others know our expectations. So I think in terms of accountability, you also have to be trustworthy. So do you have your team's back? Do you feel like they have yours? I do believe that this business grows at a speed of trust and transparency. So trust in our company, trust in our leaders, trust in each other as reps, trust in our customers that they're going to give us feedback and it's okay if they don't love a product. So all of these things feed into our own growth as well as our teams. All right, so we have to be accountable. We have to be the pace car for our team. And I want to say right away, this does not mean you have to be the highest seller. You do not have to be the highest recruiter on your downline. Heck, I want people who do those things better than me. I am neither of those things, but I do put in the work. And my team knows that I'm in the trenches with them. Every single time that corporate rolls out an incentive, I'm working right alongside with them. I don't always earn them, but I'm still putting in the time. And I feel like sometimes leaders can get stuck in that management mode. And the moment that you stop doing the work and your team sees you stop doing the work, then you stop leading. And so as leaders, we're visionaries, but we also have to take on that managerial role of getting stuff done. And so in our industry, especially, I feel like we need to be a combination of both of those things. And, you know, my team knows that I believe in what we do as a company. I believe in myself to put in the work because it's worth it. And I believe in them that they can do it too. And also along these lines of, you know, showing up and being the pace car, I always say that our hours in this business are flexible, but they're not negotiable. So when am I going to put in the work, and when am I going to ask my team to do the same? Like it or not, we can't in good conscience sell the dream of Zaya without the work. So we have to be willing to put in that time. All right, so we're accountable. We are the pace cars. Number 3, leaders are able to figure it out. And I know that you guys, I'm sure if you are on this call, you are subscribing to different entrepreneurial podcasts or reading articles, that type of thing. I bet every single one has a common theme in the fact that an entrepreneur has just figured it out along the way. And they have failed a whole bunch of times. They've made a whole bunch of mistakes. They learned what worked, what didn't, and they kept on trying. And I feel like as leaders, we have to let our teams do the same thing. And it's so hard, especially as you're growing this baby. You know, it's hard to let go. It's natural to want to just keep the reins really tight and take control. But when you let your teammates make those mistakes and figure it out along the way, that's when they grow their wings. And that's when they develop their own confidence as a leader. So we care as leaders about who our teammates are becoming, right? We want to help them fulfill that potential along the way. And all of that requires just learning as we go. I also feel like, so this kind of feeds into the 4th quality of a leader, is being vulnerable. And you'll always get the real with me. Katie kind of mentioned that when she introduced me. Like it or not, my team knows that I don't like to sugarcoat. I'm a positive person, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. And so I have invested a lot of energy to help build a culture also in my downline, in my organization, where people feel safe to be themselves. I am the first person always to admit when I have made a mistake, when I don't know something, when I wish I would have done something differently. I'm the first person to step up and raise my hand and say, hey, don't be me, all right? In this environment, we get to earn while we learn. And I think that is so, so cool. Some of you might know this. I have a background in city planning. My master's is in transportation planning. And so that's what I did in my professional career before being my own boss. But in that environment, we didn't get to be vulnerable. I'm showing up to city council meetings, to community meetings. We didn't get that opportunity to figure it out, because when we made mistakes, it cost our company and our design firm thousands upon thousands of dollars. It cost budget, it cost hours. So we didn't get to have that luxury. And so you have to remember that in this environment, we get to earn while we learn. And this is our trust tree. All right. So we have to embrace that. And I feel like one of the greatest human needs is to be understood. And whether that is our frustrations or our struggles, our strengths, our triumphs, we want to be understood on that visceral level. So to be able to create that environment with your team and with each other is just so important. And that doesn't mean that it gets to be a complaint chain, okay? But it does mean that we all have a voice and that we're all acknowledged. And so my team knows, hey, you can talk to me in a private setting. We don't blast stuff in our team page about complaints. They know that it's going to be deleted right then. And hey, you can text me. Everybody has my cell phone number. I don't care what level you are. You can text me and we can talk about it because your concerns do matter. But we also need to kind of remember that everybody's trying to, be all in this together. We're all trying to grow with this positive attitude. So, all right, last but not least, you guys, I feel like a leader is always a beginner. And that is something that I have strived for this is my 5th year being in direct sales. And every single day, you guys, I wake up, I'm so excited because I know that I am going to get to learn something new. I'm going to find somebody who can do it better than me, who can teach me a new way of doing something. And I never want to go into this business acting like an expert because I feel like that's when you start dictating, you stop learning, and you really stop feeling that passion and that motivation. I really do approach every single morning when I get out of bed, I'm like, what am I going to get to learn today? How do I get to be of service to somebody else today? How can I help solve an equation with a different formula, right? Because we all learn differently. So how am I able to help somebody do that? And how am I able to do that myself? I'm on coaching calls and training calls, just like each of you. I'm taking notes at Summit. I come back from those just as eager as I was on day one to apply these new business practices. So I feel like that's what continues to motivate me even after doing this for 5 years in some form or fashion, that I get to wake up every single day and it's a new day to try something new. So, okay, you guys, that's kind of all I had for tonight. I wanted to keep it short and sweet so we didn't go over time for our company call. It's not really like question. I mean, I don't know. You can ask questions if you have questions. I don't know.
That was so great, Blair. I took a page of notes. If anybody has questions, you guys can use the chat or you can unmute yourself. Blair, I wrote it down wrong, I think, but what did you say? Direct sales is personal development disguised. Am I saying it wrong?
It's personal development disguised as a paycheck.
As a paycheck. I love it. That's so good.
And it took me a really long time to figure that out.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. It's so true. So if you aren't doing personal development, that is kind of like the whole point. That's so true. You had so many good one-liners, Blair. I just kept writing down your good one-liners. I also wanted to just point out that one of the things Blair shares about are her workouts, and she posted recently that she finished, 100 days straight of working out? Or that
was okay. Well, I'm doing that like Beachbody 100-day thing right now, but I did maybe you're thinking of when I did the 1 year of movement.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And actually I'm on year 2 and I'm on like 430 some days now in a row of constantly like filling in all my things on my Apple Watch.
That's amazing. And what I wanted to point out about that is that goes right along with that accountability. She's showing up and she's proving to her network that she's consistent and she's accountable and she walks the walk and talks the talk. So I think that's really key. So I made sure to note that too. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments? I thought it was really helpful.
Oh, good. Well, this is so fun, you guys. I love this. So you should do this more often.
Yeah, you did a great job. You would never know that you're nervous.
Oh, well, I tried to wear something dark, but has anybody else gotten these hoodies yet? They're amazing. I just came today and I put it on. I even have like my fancy jewelry from my lunch. We had this big birthday lunch with my mom and my sisters. We all have December birthdays. So we go out to lunch every year. And I just got home, put on my beanie.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And also, Blair, you were one of my favorite speakers at Summit. You were so composed and so clear. And I mean, you would never know that you don't like speaking.
I was crying to Megan in the back before I came on, and she's like, you know what? Everybody else has done the same thing. I was like, I doubt it.
Megan's got to deal with a lot of that. I think Sarah had an issue like that at a different summit, so I think she has done that before. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate it. Give Blair a follow, you guys, if you're not already. And we'll see everybody on the other call in about 9 minutes. The link is in your email. Okay?
Sounds good. See you ladies soon.
Everybody. Good night.
Bye.